Hello and welcome to Crypto News. Today is November 9th, 2025, and the top cryptocurrency news is as follows. Moving on to our news, we will refer to a new filing by the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) regarding Trump Media and Technology Group, the main company of the President of the United States. We learned that this company now has 11,500 bitcoins, worth $1.3 billion. So from this alone, we understand that in the future, we will see very positive things for cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin from America. And without further ado, let's go straight to Bitcoin miners, who seem to be abandoning Bitcoin and turning to artificial intelligence. AI. We'll start with the Bitcoin mining company, specifically the former Bitcoin mining company called IREN, whose stock price has surged after announcing that it has signed a $9.7 billion deal with Microsoft. As mentioned, the company has been moving into cloud computing with artificial intelligence, and the deal essentially gives Microsoft access to the company's NVIDIA graphics cards as it moves forward with its AI plans. Moving on from that company, we'll move on to Cipher Mining, whose stock price has surged after signing a deal with Amazon. Shares of this Bitcoin mining company have risen more than 34% since announcing a 15-year deal with Amazon. This deal is a $5.5 billion deal with Amazon Web Services that will see the Bitcoin mining company provide space and power, return key, for AI workloads in two phases. One will launch in July and the other in August of next year. So another major mining company is entering the new era of AI. Next up, Mara, the largest Bitcoin mining company known in crypto news, is also making moves. Mara has signed a contract with MPLX, announcing a new partnership to build integrated power generation and data center facilities in West Texas. Under the deal, MPLX will provide Mara with 400 megawatts to 1.5 gigawatts of electricity in the form of natural gas, allowing Mara to further support its data centers. So Mara is slowly getting into this trend with artificial intelligence and AI. Next, we'll look at CleanSpark, which is also expanding into artificial intelligence. This company increased its energy capacity by 28% in October as part of a broader effort, in addition to cryptocurrency mining, to shift to artificial intelligence and high-performance computing. And to finish, we'll look at TeraWulf, which we saw again on Crypto News, and which has raised $3 billion with Google's backing for artificial intelligence, and is now looking to raise another $500 million for that purpose. So, all in all Bitcoin mining companies that have entered AI have seen their shares increase by a combined 580%. And now we know that about 70% of Bitcoin miners have entered AI. As you can see from this chart, which shows these 10 companies, some of the biggest in the field, 7 out of 10 have already entered AI and cloud computing. So let's look at the positives and the negatives. The obvious negative is that all that money, energy, and computing power could be used to strengthen the Bitcoin network, helping the hash rate increase a little more and making the network stronger and more secure. That's the negative. Now the positives are more important, Crypto News believes. First of all, since Bitcoin miners are now entering artificial intelligence, they have additional income, which allows them to better withstand bear markets. During these periods, they will not need to sell as many Bitcoins as they used to in the past to continue operating and growing. Furthermore, these moves, again according to Crypto News, are considered beneficial for the decentralization of Bitcoin, because in the past, 10 to 15 years ago, anyone could mine Bitcoin and make money. However, as technology advanced, the hash rate increased and miners had to invest more to upgrade their facilities to remain profitable. This drove many small miners out of the market, concentrating power in a few hands and creating the risk of concentration in Bitcoin. However, thanks to artificial intelligence, which will theoretically bring more revenue to Bitcoin miners, this could allow, again as Crypto News suggests, smaller miners to stay in the market and reduce this concentration. Another positive is that all this computing power will eventually boost artificial intelligence, a new technology that will lead humanity to a point that we can't even imagine right now. So having said all that, it's time to move on to our favorite cryptocurrency market, with Bitcoin at $102,000, about the same level as in recent days. Let's now note that many institutions believe that Bitcoin will have an upward trend. Specifically, 67% of institutions predict an increase in the price of Bitcoin in the next 6 months. This is what we learned from a Coinbase survey, which also showed that about 2/3 of institutional investors believe that Bitcoin will continue its upward trend in 2026. So with that, I'll wrap up our episode for today. That wraps up the top news for crypto today is November 9th, 2025. I'd like to remind you that the content you just watched is created for educational purposes only, and should not be considered as investment advice, but rather as investment opinion. Please subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and feel free to comment. Take care, everyone, and have a good day.